Hi, it's Amy and Tim from Go With Less. Today we're going to give our final recap of our trip to Southern California this week. We got back very late last night, so we didn't complete our video yesterday, but like I said, we wanted to wrap it up and let you know how it all went. We had 2 nights at the Embassy Suites in Temecula. Temecula is awesome because it is a wine country. It is wine country. There were, I don't know, like a couple dozen vineyards that were so charming. We ended up not doing any tastings. I think I said that yesterday because it was kind of expensive. It was early, but it was really nice to take advantage of the pretty scenery and the beauty of the vineyards and the chateaus on the vineyards, and that was nice. What we also realized is that 2 nights is a perfect amount for vacation. So if you will only have weekends, that was great. We got all the benefits that we would enjoy from a vacation in those 2 days. So for us, it was nice that it was midweek because it was probably a little bit cheaper and a little less busy. So that's nice, but that doesn't mean you can't go on vacation if all you have is weekends. And the really nice thing is that it didn't get us too far off from our healthy eating at home and our good sleeping in our own bed, but we got a nice vacation.
It was a perfect amount of time. And so we also wanted to circle back around to something we brought up yesterday in yesterday's video about rental cars. So we used Ultimate Reward points to pay for the rental car, but when we showed up at the rental car place, we were given an option. We could actually choose a car that was category 1, 2, or 3, and this is a Hertz rental. And but basically what this meant is that we could choose a bigger car, a mid-sized car, or a smaller car. So we opted to choose the smallest car that was basically available to us, an economy car. So number 1, we didn't need the extra size. Number 2, it's better for parking. It's easier to park when you're looking at smaller parking spots. And then number 3, it's more fuel efficient. So when we're driving the amount of distance that we're going to drive, it's great to have a more fuel efficient car. And then also when we were coming back to LA yesterday, we filled up the car and we learned some things there as well. So I guess we inherently knew this, but you can actually use fuel points that we earn here at Colorado at our local Kroger affiliate in California. And so we have an opportunity to save multiple pennies a gallon, up to $1 a gallon when we're filling up our cars. And so the first place that we went to fill up the car, though, we thought, well, that took the fuel points. It didn't seem like the price was right. It seemed like it was a little high. Amy used an application we use regularly called Gas Buddy.
On my phone.
And on our phone, it's a free app. And we realized that we could just go like 1.5 miles down the road, and we could save $2 or $3 just by going down the road and still use our fuel points. So that's another great tip in terms of that's make sure you use that. That's exactly right.
And while we're talking about rental cars, I'd like to talk about toll tags. So many toll roads in America now don't have human beings collecting those tolls any longer. Rental companies know this, and they want to make sure that you can still go over these bridges and use these roads, and they give you it's not even an option. They just give you the ability to do that, and then they charge you a very high fee for that. We learned the hard way going over the Golden Gate Bridge about 5 or 6 years ago. That was the only toll that we did. It's about a $7 one-way toll. We went into San Francisco just for lunch as we were returning back from Napa, Sonoma Valleys, and we ended up getting a bill from Hertz or from our car rental company for about $35, $40. The reason why, it was the toll plus the ability to use the toll. Once you use the toll, you pay about $5 or $6 every single day you have that. So this trip, we had that ability as well. Yeah. Because we didn't use the tolls at all, we do not pay anything. If we even went on like a quarter toll road and didn't pay the toll to a live human being, we would have then been paying, I think it was $5 or $6 every single day.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous. I think it verges on a scam, it seems like, but nonetheless, it's something to be aware of if you're renting a car. Something else, going back to the parking that I mentioned earlier, the ability to park. So something else we really like to do when we're traveling is we like to visit fancy hotels. We're not typically staying in a fancy hotel. That doesn't fit with the budget that we allow ourselves for hotels, but hotel properties that are really nice are typically just nice places to go and visit. We're not talking about jumping in their pool or taking advantages of things that are only available to the guests, but we like to go and just see the grounds, visit the bar.
They're usually
just
really pretty.
Walk around. It's usually very pretty.
We might end up sitting at the pool. Maybe we get a drink or lunch or something like that on a pool chair.
So part of our trip on the way back from Temecula, we stopped in Riverside, and we stopped at the Mission Inn, which is a lovely hotel in Riverside.
Historic.
A historic hotel. It used to actually be a mission. And to look around. So as we were driving through town, we saw that parking, it actually cost quite a bit to park in town close to the hotel. we just drove a few blocks away from the hotel and saw that there was free parking. It was available for only 20 minutes. And so something that we hate paying for parking, we hate paying tolls, we hate it. And so it's no big deal just to walk a few extra blocks, at least for us, to avoid paying a toll of, a parking fee of $1.50 or $2 or whatever it might be. And so sure enough, we found some parking just by walking a little bit. So.
Yeah. And yesterday, before the mission in, we found on the internet a place called the California Citrus State Park. The park itself had free entrance, but it was $5 to pay to park our car, and we had about a 45-minute guided tour because it was a Friday in March in the morning. There were only 2 other people, so it was almost a private tour, and the guide showed us all the different varieties they grow at this park, from grapefruits and kumquats, lemons, tons of oranges. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we'll probably put some pictures up online in our post for that one. But the really cool thing is they gave us a couple of pieces of sample fruit to take home. Yeah. This is called an Oro Blanco grapefruit that we tried. So delicious. This is a Meyer lemon. It actually has a little bit of a grapefruity scent. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's really heavy and it's a thin skin, so that means it's probably insanely juicy. I need to use it right away. And then this cute little clementine. These were picked right off from the tree, so I think that'll be nice because they were picked when they were ripe. And I did want to talk, as we're getting ready to wrap up, about how we did with our smaller packing. So we realized that it makes life easy when we pack light. We talked about it when we had our first post with our video about our trip a couple days ago, that we brought only 1 pair of shoes each on this trip. That was the first time I've ever done that. And it was pouring rain when we got out of the car at the airport last night with big deep puddles. So I was very happy that we were heading home, and I was like, that's why I bring another pair of shoes just in case I step in the big puddle. And there were so many puddles you couldn't avoid it. But my feet actually remained dry, and it was completely fine. So if there was rain in the forecast big time, I might have brought another pair of shoes. That might be the reason to bring another pair of shoes on a 2-night trip. But in the idea of traveling lightly, our trip before Temecula was to Tempe, Arizona. When we got to the airport for a really late flight, like a 10 p.m. flight to return home, our flight was an hour delayed, and because we got to the airport kind of early, it was a new airport for us. P.S. We also get to the airport early. We were able to jump on an earlier flight because we had just our own luggage on our own backs, and that is really nice. And if you can make it really kind of small, like in a regular size backpack, not like in a Europe for your life backpack, just like a normal size backpack, you can fit quite a bit in there as long as there's not a lot of shoes or anything. But you can get quite a bit in there. And some things I like packing small things, and I just had to show the world's cutest deodorant. This is from a company called Native. It's kind of a healthier deodorant, so it's all natural. Look, here's my lemon. Here's my deodorant. Like, is that the cutest thing in the universe? So I did try this new deodorant. I actually got a whole bunch of different sample scents. It's only available online as far as I know, but we do try to do things to keep our bags really small and light and be nimble. So anyway, we are going to be writing about this trip on our blog on www.gowithless.com. We're going to break down every penny that we spent, just do a little bit of a recap. So if you'd like to join us there, we would love to see you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.